Okay, we'll let that dry for about a day. Then we'll figure out what we can do on restoring this finish. Welcome back to part 2, 1938 Crosley Model 517 radio. Okay, all the paper caps have been replaced. And the two electrolytics that they bridged in are actually working okay, but I will change them, of course. These two, that one and that one. These are the ones that they bridged in underneath. This one I had to cut the ground on it to get to this cap right here. So that's why I have the test lead over the ground. But we'll figure out what we're going to do on those two. First one, part number 15. It's a positive side. Negative side just goes over to the chassis. It's a 16 mic 200 volt. And that's what it says on the side. These are fastened with a big nut. Pretty simple to you get that nut turned just a little, then you can take your hand and turn the cap while holding the nut. The only issue with trying to reuse these and stuff them with a new cap is the ground. Yeah, if the terminal if the connector inside is still connected to the case, then we would have a good ground, but sometimes if they're corroded, like this one is, that terminal may be corroded away. Then you got to figure out how to ground this aluminum case over to the chassis. Now, in this case of the other one, yeah, that could be stuffed pretty easy because you have two terminals and they're isolated. This doesn't ground to the chassis. The minus and a plus. Just inclined to mount a terminal strip for both and let it go with that, and we'll just put these back for looks. We'll clean them up and clean around the chassis there where they're mounted. Both filter caps mounted on a terminal strip. I did have to add a tie point wire from here over to here because some of these wires are a little short. But we put some insulation on that one. Doing a quick check on these two electrolytics. My solar cap checker. And we're checking for leakage. So that's 100 volts. They should light up and go off. And it did. 200, 300, 400. And it is a 450 volt cap, so I don't expect that to go off at 500. But the cap shows no leakage. And if we test the value, it is a 16 mic. Here's 15. About 14, 15, so pretty close. So that cap's still good. Now let's check the other one. This is a replacement Philco, and it's a 12 mic. Let's check leakage. It's supposed to be a 475 volt. There's 100, 200, 300 staying on. 200 is okay, but 300 showing leakage. Check the value. And you want the pie to open up. And it's checking about 14, 15. So the capacitance is good, but the working voltage is not good enough as it's leaky. And there's our old caps. Do some cleaning around the chassis before I put them back in, and we'll clean them too, make them look better.
Analyze your current lifestyle and realize that cleaning.
How about a little shortwave too?
Migrantes irregulares identificados.
One more thing to do underneath the chassis. I want to check those resistors. And then we'll concentrate on some cleaning and working on that really rough cabinet. And that looks a lot better. Notice that ink stamp even showed up a little. I cleaned the back off. And we got rid of the rust. Now, yeah, it left a spot there in the outer finish, but no more rust. So, clean the caps up. We'll get them put back in, and the tubes put back in. Tubes back in. Put the dial back on. And what an interesting looking dial. Trying to get over to the side, you can see me in it if I get the camera right in front of it. Learn one more thing too. I never expect to get many AM stations, but I think I found out why I couldn't, even after running that antenna wire outside. Okay, that's WOW in Cincinnati. And
Number 87222. Now God has provided some things.
here's my soldering iron. Temperature controlled. Nice iron. I've had it a good while. Got a little temperature control there on the side. But watch what happens when I plug it up.
The evidence of things not seen. And this is where a lot of people miss it. They say, well, if I it doesn't say that in so many words, but that is the indication of the scripture.
So I need to remember that. Working on an AM radio, I have to start unplugging the soldering iron, causing a lot of interference. Wow, what a difference. Channels all the way up and down the dial. Now, let me try shortwave again. Bluegrass radio is really working well, especially after unplugging that soldering iron. Time for some cabinet work. Speaker removed. Now I'm taking the speaker board out so we can change the grill cloth. And it has some staples I need to remove around the edge. And the grill cloth is glued. unscrew these, remove these screws that hold the speaker in. Tight fit. All right, ready to start some repairs. First we'll glue that and let it set up for probably a day. Just noticed that gold ring. Let me take it off. It just has 4 little tabs that bend up. Pretty stiff. We'll try to clean that up. Don't know if we can bring the finish back, but we'll give it a shot. All right, now we're empty. A little cleaning on the speaker. And also put some heat shrink in the plug all the way up to the wiring where it couples together. Just makes it look a little neater. We got some loose veneer on both ends of this top. This side is okay, but it's loose here and over here, so we got a couple of clamps. I had me a board put in there, and here's the glue I'm using. So we just need to get it up underneath this loose piece really well. So give me a Q-tip, I can spread it up in there, I think. Should be able to. Okay, we'll let that dry. Then we'll figure out what we can do on restoring this finish. All right, I think we got a good bond there where we're glued. So, time to strip off this old finish. As I use in most of my wood cabinet refinishing, use acetone. You want to make sure you have plenty of ventilation because it does have a pretty strong odor. We're about ready for some final finish. The top, it's got a little more discoloration, so we'll put just a coat of light stain on it. And before I put the final clear on, I'm going to paint these speaker cutouts and this edging, top and bottom. Paint those black, and then we'll spray the clear right over the top of the black and the stain. I like that light color, so I think this is going to turn out looking really good. There's a black around the top and the bottom and inside the speaker grills. Model car paint, testers. It's a semi-gloss black. It'll all get sprayed with clear anyway. All right, cabinets down here in the shop. We're going to put some clear on. Probably put 3 coats. And here's what we're using. I'm pleased with the cabinet. All right, first we'll put our screws back in that hold the speaker. Next we'll glue this grill cloth. You can see where the old one was. Spans those speaker cutouts. Spread the glue out where it doesn't squeeze out around the grill cloth opening. That way when we put the cloth in, it'll stick down and won't see any bubbles, hopefully, or any loose areas. Okay. I like it. Checking my reference photos, and the speaker does go in with the transformer on the left side. That allows the plug to reach without stretching it too much. And just a couple of coats of champagne bronze, and then a little clear on top of that. Just 4 tabs on it. That's what holds it in. Now we're ready for the chassis. 3 screws in that, and we need to get the controls centered up in the openings. Speaker plugged in. Then we have this bracket that goes over the speaker plug. Keeps it from being pulled out. A little bit of steel wool. Clean that up. Next we'll clean up these knobs. Well, no matter how much I cleaned on the knobs, when they dried, they were dull looking. That's just from use over the years. So we'll put a coat of clear. I do this quite a bit. Makes them look so much better, and it protects them. As soon as that dries, we'll get the knobs put on, and I think we've about got this Crosley finished. And the last thing we'll do is put some new feet on the bottom. I'm just using these stick-on. Here's a final look at the back of the radio. That original label.
For 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great.
Okay, that wraps up the restoration on this Crosley fiber, model 517. So thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like? and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.